Hi, I'm Richard, and I'm here to talk a little bit about plasma activities and how to navigate around through them. First off, what is an activity? Well, it's just a group of desktops. You have your choice of how many virtual desktops you have on Plasma. The default is 4, and I suggest you leave it there. It works good for things like the desktop cube, which wants to have 4 edges. You can add more desktops when you start losing them. You can lose settings. Bad things can happen. It's inconvenient. Leave it at 4. Trust me on this. Okay, now you have to navigate around in your activities. I have 8 different activities. This is the activity manager I've got in one of my panels. It comes up, it'll show you a picture, a title, and if you add it, you can have a description of what you're doing on each one of those desktops. Pretty convenient for getting around. Pictures help you remember. I think that's the main deal about having the different activities. You put a different picture there, you can remember where you were, and it's easy to get back to. Now, if you don't want to put it in one of your panels, right click will also give you a tool to bring up your desktop manager, your activity manager, sorry. We also have the activity pager. You can bring up the settings. You can have it text, you can have numbers. There's a lot of different things you can do with this. Click around there. If you hover on it, it'll tell you the name. There's also the activity bar. Now you can click this to move around, or you can scroll. Pretty convenient, actually. Now I have mine set up to just change activities when I scroll on the desktop itself. So let me show you. This is an activity composed of 4 different desktops. Another activity, another 4 desktops. Another activity, another 4 desktops. Since I have 8 activities, I have 32 desktops. And you can see it doesn't really take very long to move around between them if you have things set up correctly. Having a different picture on each set really makes it convenient for trying to remember where you were and everything. And if you have any apps minimized, they will show up on the grid as you go through it. They really shouldn't be scary or intimidating. It's just a new way of having more desktops, and they don't have to all have the same background. You can set them up into groups. You can add little, as you can see, my desktop widgets are much more robust on this particular activity than they are on the others. All I have is a clock on the others. You can add or subtract anything you want, customize them, make them your own. Really pretty easy to move around through. I think the thing that threw me when I first discovered activities was I was waiting for some new thing to come up, and I didn't realize I was already there. Like I said, whatever number of desktops you have, that's an activity. Whenever you create a new activity, it just clones that number of desktops you have, another 4 or 5 or whatever. Better off with 4. But there's a lot of ways to move around through them. Now I have mine. You can see that I don't have any folders anywhere. I have mine set on default desktop, which doesn't allow you to do that. It makes you make that decision of where to put it. I find it wonderful to spend that second and a half to figure out where it goes, and then you can find whatever you need later instead of having 100 folders scattered around all over the place. But you can also have folder view if you want. That's another thing. These kind of get forgotten, except for I'm sure you know how to change it. Go into desktop settings or folder settings, whatever, to change your background. But while you're in that area, over here on the left, you've also got mouse actions. Now that's where you set up your vertical scroll, and I've got switch activity. Now as default, it comes with switch desktop. So you can see that's a pretty good way to get around there. If you do want to do what I did and have it become switch activity, you will have to do that separately in each one of your activities. It'll come up default scroll desktop. So you just do that, and then you can move around. Pretty nice and really pretty simple. If you're looking for a more complicated concept, it's not there. It's just very simple. It's just adding another 4 desktops, another 4, another 4, another 4. I hope this helps. Sayonara.